We now proceed with the President may also exercise the power to assume jurisdiction over a labor dispute. Now, the President is, if there is a perceived interest that there will be a cause of strike or lockout in an industry indispensable to the national interest, the President shall not be precluded from determining industries that, in his opinion, are indispensable to the national interest, and he may intervene from any time and assume jurisdiction over any labor dispute. So, if there are industries in order to settle or terminate the same, there are four grounds. First, if there is prima facie evidence of discretion on the part of the labor arbiter. So, at the first glance, may nakitang discretion on the part of the labor arbiter. If a decision order was secured through fraud or coercion, including graft and corruption. If it was made purely on the questions of law, and if serious errors in the findings of facts are raised which should cause grave or irreparable damage or injury to the appellant. Now we have the BLR, or the Bureau of Labor Relations. But before we go there, do you have any questions in mind, class? The BLR covers important aspects of labor relations. First, they set the environment for a healthy relationship by making both employer and employee aware of the rights and obligations through the LEES. They promote collective negotiations by advocating the right to self-organization. They provide mechanisms to fix strained relationships through adjudication. They foster an environment where employers and employees can reach a compromise regarding their issues and contribute in policy making through tripartite productivity council. There is also embodiment of the President's overarching goal of promoting social justice. Promoting industrial peace patterned on social justice. So, for history purposes, the Bureau was established on January 16, 1957, pursuant to EO 213 and Organization Plan 20A. It took the Conciliation Service and Register of Labor Relations, created under RA 875, which serves as a planning, policy-making, consultative, and advisory body in the promotion and maintenance of industrial peace. The Bureau continues its mandate to develop policies, programs, projects, operation guidelines, and standards relative to labor management relations. The Bureau provides advisory to the Office of the Secretary and the regional offices on administration and enforcement of laws on LMR, including workers' registration, organization registration, development, and resolution of appealed inter- and intra-union disputes. Ano ba ang mandato ng BLR? So katulad nung ating napag-aralan sa Chapter 5, it mandates for national registry ng unions and CBAs. They formulate regulatory and developmental policies, standards, guidelines, and programs promoting the right to organize, including collective bargaining and improvement of the income of workers and their organizations. They lead the agency in workers' and employers' education. They educate inter- and intra-union disputes. They promote bipartisan and tripartisan, and formulate and implement programs that strengthen trade unionism to achieve, of course, the famous industrial peace. So, its mission as a registry is to gather, generate, process, interpret relevant, timely, and accurate LR information for policymakers and decision makers, unions, employers, and public at large. As a policy-making and program development agency, they provide workers with expeditious procedures in the formation and registration of unions or other workers' organizations, as well as in collective bargaining negotiations. To provide unions with clear policies, procedures, and guidelines in the administration of their internal activities and at the same time respects union autonomy. To provide parties to inter-union, intra-union, and other disputes with expeditious and non-litigious procedures in the management and resolution of disputes. They initiate and recommend, after consultation with the employers and workers, appropriate legislative proposals on labor relations. They would like also to strengthen trade union and other workers' organizations through the provision of accessible facilities, as well as training, educational, and technical assistance. The BLR provides livelihood assistance as a means of enhancing income opportunities, and employment generation, and as the lead agency for labor education. They provide workers and employers organized or unorganized updated information on their rights, obligations, benefits using various forms of information and communication. They source funds for setting up programs for the private sector intended to encourage them to become partners with the government in the conduct of labor education. They adjudicate disputes, no? To resolve disputes with finality within 20 days from submission of the case for resolution, but in no case to exceed 45 days from filing of the case in appealed cases, and 2 months in original cases, and to keep the dockets current, to have zero reversal rate of appeal decisions of the Bureau, to execute all the Bureau's decisions promptly and in full. As they advocate bipartisan and tripartisan, they do the following: to provide agenda for the social partners for sustaining a mechanism for dialogue, consultation, and information exchange toward building consensus action plans on social and economic policies and programs. Initiate development of programs to encourage workers and employers to set up bipartite and tripartite mechanism for open communication, information, and responsibility sharing and joint decision making. As a social partner of workers in national development, they strengthen trade unionism and other workers' organizations by promoting programs through the provision of accessible information facilities, as well as training, education, and technical assistance. Now, it is important to bear in mind that they shall act on applications for registration of labor unions in 30 days from the date of filing. So all necessary documents and papers shall be certified under oath by the Secretary of Treasurer or Treasurer of the organization, as the case may be, attested by the President. Now, tatandaan, if the decision of the LR, if labor union is denied, is appealable 10 days from the date of receipt. So, pag hindi na-grant ang request mo for application for accreditation for the labor union registry, ay may 10 days ka to appeal. Now, the regional office or the bureau may act on all applications within 10 days. They can approve certificate of registration or deny application notice or failure to comply with the requirements for registration or notice. So, pag merong kulang na requirements, susulat si Bureau para mag-comply. If kulang pa rin, saka sila maglalagay ng denying of application. Now, the Bureau shall serve a notice on cancellation of proceedings of the labor concerned, stating the grounds therefore at least 15 calendar days before the scheduled date of hearing. So, magbibigay naman sila ng halimbawa 15 days before the date of hearing pagka-cancel mo yung registration. 15 days before that. Tatandaan, 15 days. Such hearing, the representative shall have the right to present its side. The cancellation of the union registration is done by the Bureau of Regional Office shall be done after due process. To cancel the registration of any labor organization which fails to submit financial reports required. So, ulitin, 15 calendar days. Were the documents supporting the application for registration, notice of change of name, affiliation, merger, and consolidation are incomplete or do not contain the required certification attestation, the regional office or the bureau shall, within 5 days from receipt of the application or notice, notify the applicant or labor organization concerned in writing of the necessary requirements and complete the same within 30 days from receipt of notice. Where the applicant or labor organization concerned fails to complete the requirements within the time prescribed, the application for registration shall be denied, or the notice of change of name, affiliation, merger, and consolidation returned without prejudice to filing a new application or notice. So, sabi dito, notify the applicant concerned pag may kulang. Within 30 days ka pwede ka mag-comply. Na pag kulang pa rin, ginag-cancel ka, hindi naman bawal to file a new application or notice. Now, the labor organization, unless the law provides otherwise, from request of the cancellation, sabi nga kanina, within 15 calendar days from receipt of decision, may file an appeal. So, may natanggap kayong notice of cancellation, within 15 days, you may appeal to the Bureau. Now, pag na-cancel na ng Bureau, you may go to the Secretary of DOLE on the following grounds. If there is a grave abuse ng discretion ng Bureau. 2, there is gross incompetence. Matandaan, you may go for the Secretary if there is grave abuse of discretion and gross incompetence. The Bureau shall have 15 calendar days to receive the records of the case within which to decide the appeal. The decision shall be final and unappealable. Now, do you have any question, class? Let's continue. The memorandum of appeal ay papasa mo sa regional office or bureau that issue the denial return of notice. So, the appeal with complete records are off for registration notice of change of name, affiliation, merger, consolidation shall be transmitted by the regional office to the bureau or by the bureau to the office of the secretary within 24 hours. The bureau office shall decide the appeal within 20 days. Oh, yan. Within 20 days. Receipt of the case. So, within 20 days, nag-appeal kayo, there has to be a decision rendered within 20 days. Now, class, do you have any question?